Hi there, thanks for checking us out. Today we're going to talk about the next recession and whether or not it's more than likely going to affect our housing market.
So stay tuned.
Hi there, thanks for checking us out. It is Beth
And Shirley
with Shirley's Real Estate Group, John L. Scott. And this is the
BS Real Estate Show. Beth and Shirley, that is. And we're here with more real estate news that matters to you.
Today we're here to discuss whether or not a housing market recession is coming. Before jumping into this complex topic, we figured we'd give you a little insight of our real estate backgrounds. I've been in the real estate industry here in the Pacific Northwest since 1998. I've experienced the market shifts, educated my clients on the changes and how they'd be affected by those changes, and most importantly, I've guided both buyers and sellers through the 2008 recession.
So I've been in the real estate industry here in the Pacific Northwest since 2009. While working the same market as Shirley, I started off working primarily for the REO market, helping those lien holders sell the homes that they had foreclosed on.
So while we both experienced and worked through the recession in the housing market, we're able to provide some insight and some information pertaining to both sides of what happened and what the market is predicting.
So the Wall Street Journal did a survey of economists and asked a question: when will the next recession begin? This is a big question circulating the housing market right now, and it's important that we address it with facts rather than speculation. While we do think it's going to be a slight issue, we don't think the recession is going to cause much challenge in our housing market. We do, however, believe that it's going to cause concern in the market, especially with the media outlets posting conflicting data. Morgan Housel said it might be over before we realize it began.
We're a little nervous about people panicking over it, especially coming into a presidential election year. But the Wall Street Journal surveyed over 36 economists, and we've added their results to our charts, which you have in front of you. We have 4 major surveys done by 4 major entities: the Pulsomic Survey, the Duke University Survey, the National Association of Business Economics Survey, and the Wall Street Journal Survey. 46.9% think the recession is going to occur before the end of next year, with another 28% saying it's going to occur sometime in 2021. And much of that was early 2021. So what we're talking about is in the next 18 to 24 months, the vast majority of those analysts and economists surveyed think we're coming into an economic slowdown.
So to put things into perspective, this is your home price change during the last 5 recessions. Obviously, during the 2008 recession, prices dropped dramatically because the number 1 trigger of that recession was the housing crash, and the number 2 trigger was the mortgage market meltdown. So of course, it impacted the housing industry because it was the housing industry that caused the recession. But if we look at 4 of the 5 recessions prior to that, home values actually went up. And the only time they didn't, they went down by less than 2%. So we don't see prices dropping. And if you're a buyer waiting for, prices to come tumbling down, that's not happening. As a matter of fact, we have the projected home price percentage appreciation going forward by 6 major entities: the Home Price Expectations Survey, the Mortgage Bankers Association, Zelman and Associates, Freddie Mac, the National Association of Realtors, and Fannie Mae. As you can see, as far as they project, some 4 years, mostly 2, they're still looking at appreciation.
There are no red numbers there, so no one is projecting, even those economists that said that there's an economic slowdown coming, are not projecting that prices are going to be impacted to a level that they're going to start to depreciate. Appreciation has been decelerating, meaning they're not appreciating at the same levels that they have over the past couple of years, but that might even change.
So here's the forecasted year-over-year change in price by CoreLogic. Last year, the last 12 months, according to CoreLogic, prices went up 3.6%. But they're projecting that over the next 12 months, and here's the breakdown by state, that prices will go up 4.5%. So they're really seeing a reacceleration of pricing. And I think that you're going to see a number is going to be, up around 5%. Again, there's a lack of inventory with interest rates being so low. and buyers are out there. So now we're back to the supply and demand situation.
Yep. Last fall and winter, interest rates went up and more inventory was coming to the market. So the supply and demand softened and it became not yet a buyer's market, but more of a normalized market. It looks like, at least in the lower range and the middle range, in most markets, we might be drifting back to a seller's market where prices will appreciate. And whenever we talk about prices going up, there's going to be that group of buyers that are going to worry when they hear that, and then they just might figure, well, it doesn't make any sense to buy, or I can't afford it.
So understand that affordability is determined by three things. Price is definitely a major portion of that. Ability to earn, meaning wages, and also interest rates are a part of that equation. And we see interest rates dropping, wages are going up. So even though home prices are going up, if we take a look at two reports, first the NAR report, they're showing that the percentage of income needed to buy a median-priced home and the percentage of median-priced income needed to buy that home is down to 15.7% over the last year, which was 18.2%, and the norm is 21.2%. So it's much more affordable to purchase a house, taking everything into consideration, the price, the mortgage rate, and your wages.
It's much more affordable to purchase a house now than it was in the past. As a matter of fact, CoreLogic actually breaks it down by the typical mortgage payment. So what they do is they adjust for inflation and they look at mortgage payments buyers commit to. So what you can see from their June report is the numbers show that the typical mortgage payment nationwide was $878. That's less than it was last June and less than it was in January of 2000. So what we're looking at is it's more affordable to purchase a home now than it was before the boom and the bust. And as far as next year is concerned, it's going to tick up some, but the typical mortgage payment is going to be less money than it was in June of 2018 and again in January of 2000.
So what is this telling us? Prices are going up, but because interest rates are going down or staying down and wages are going up, what we can see is we're in good shape from an affordability standpoint. Frank Nothaft, the chief economist for CoreLogic, said borrow equity rose to an all-time high in the first half of 2019 and has more than doubled since the housing recovery started. Combined with low mortgage rates, the rise in equity supports spending on home improvements and may help balance sheets of households who could take out home equity loans to consolidate their debt.
But also with home equity increasing so dramatically, people have that down payment in their existing home to move up to the dream home, and that's important. Really quick, let's take a look at the equity by state. What we're seeing is across the country, there were only 3 states that didn't see a major increase in home equity, actually saw a loss. That was North Dakota, Connecticut, and Delaware. But in the other 47 states, home equity did increase, and in some states rather dramatically over a 12-month period. You have Idaho sitting at $22,000. That's a huge increase.
So remember, when you're renting, you don't get that home equity. Here's the home price expectation survey, and they're not looking at 6, 7, 8% appreciation that we've seen over the last couple of years, but there's still appreciation. Even if we take that very conservative estimate as appreciation and apply it to somebody, who purchased a home, say January of this year, what we can see is that in over, the next 5 years, just taking into consideration that very conservative increase in prices, the home equity growth means the wealth in that family will grow by $37,750.
Almost $40,000.
Exactly. So even though the prices are moderately appreciating, it means that families are building wealth even with that moderate adjustment.
And let's not forget with that what the alternative is. Even with prices going up, let's take a look at the median nationwide asking rent since 2010. And what we can see there is that it's increasing rather dramatically from, just under 700 to over 1,000 in that period of time. So what we're looking at is the fact that you could either build equity or not build equity. And from a financial standpoint, owning a home is so much more powerful for a family. But, a new survey just came out, and I think it's important that we take a look at that.
So this is the Concentrix Analytics survey. They didn't look for financial benefits of homeownership. They asked about non-financial benefits of homeownership. And this is what the survey found. 93% of homeowners say that owning a home made them happier. 88% agree that buying a home is the biggest decision they ever made and the best. And 79% believe that owning a home has changed them for the better. So while there's talk of a recession, given the data we've just provided, we would rather call it just an economic slowdown.
Ms. Cushy, the deputy chief economist at First American, said this: new household formations is expected to grow as more millennials enter their prime home buying years and baby boomers are living longer and more independently than ever. For more than a decade, home buildings have not kept up with the demand for shelter, and creating a housing supply deficit that will prove difficult to reduce significantly, meaning they're not building enough homes for the household formation. Existing home sales is the answer to that. And the challenge with that is, if we take a look at the month's inventory of home sales, which have been, building going into the spring and summer, and now they're falling, the month's supply is going down. That's part of the reason we're going to see an increase in appreciation, because again, it's all about supply and demand. Wow, that was a lot of information. Hopefully the information provided brought some insight as to how the upcoming recession isn't going to be a repeat of 2008, and shed some light on whether now would be a good time for you to buy or sell.
So stay tuned for our upcoming videos.
And if you have any questions that we didn't cover, reply below, call or text or email us. If there's a topic that you'd like to hear about or an idea you have for a future video, please let us know. If you like the content that we're putting out, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and turn on the little bell icon notification so you get our future videos.
Well, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
What a bunch of BS. See you next Tuesday.